I tell you, you never know where you go find the girly shop teacher. Today I am in Home Depot and I'm like getting stuff to fix my hot water heater. This gentleman walks up behind me and says, "Hey, what did you say to me?"
Hey man, you got your own YouTube show. And I'm like, that's her. Hey, I'll keep my distance. You up here Home Depot.
We social distancing.
We doing that.
But even with my mask on, he found the girly shop teacher. I'm too tickled. We get ready to have some fun. I'm gonna do a short live today, but I'm gonna post this whole experience replacing my hot water heater that went out last night. I'll see y'all in a little bit.
When you personally know the girly shop teacher, she makes house calls.
Well, this house call was right on time. I went to Home Depot to get a hot water heater, and they didn't have the one in stock that I needed. So I made a detour.
The girly shop teacher makes house calls.
What's going on? We got our COVID safety, y'all. Yay! Doc! Okay, guys. Girly shop teacher has been called into yet another dilemma. This beautiful lady here and her husband who making some kind of roux that smells so good.
Oh man, we need to get to dress up. All right, quarantine girly shop.
Right. Okay, so here's the deal. They have decided that they want to use their trash can and have it inset inside of the drawer. So initial work has already been done where he's already taken out the shelving right here. All right, so now he's already actually made a nice little hole for the trash can to fit in and out of. But the problem,
after much thoughtful consideration, I wasn't exactly sold on the design plan that the Ivorys had done. So I started some new cuts to make the drawer even better than before. Now my table saw only goes up to 13 inches, so I had to pull out my Craig jig square in order to finish the rest of my cuts. All the cuts are made, front, back, side to side, and bottom. I'm ready to get started with the assembly.
okay guys, as promised, I've got my Craig jig screws already in. I'm gonna use a little bit of glue to hold the joint nice and tight.
Okay, I'm going to speed up the talking, speed up the video, and just show you the assembly really fast. So just watch closely, rewind if you have to. This is how it's done.
Now, I don't know if you could see, but there was a very slight shift, and now this is nice and even. And there, just that quickly, I have the bottom of the drawer right here and the back side of the drawer right here. I'll now assemble. First of all, I want to get this one in nice and flush to the face right here. And I'm going to go on and fast forward and go through that real quick, okay?
Once I had all the cuts made and I had made the pocket holes with the Craig jig, the assembly went like a breeze. It only took really about 4 to 6 minutes for me to completely assemble the entire drawer. And this is the fast forward version, which takes even less time.
Okay, so the homeowner made a little kind of mistake. They stripped the screw. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to use my needle nose pliers and I'm going to untwist it until the screw comes out. Because this little L bracket was stuck saying, "Oh no, I'm stuck in here, I'm stuck in here. Can anybody please get me out?" Ta-da! I did. I got you out, little screw.
Now, since I decided to completely rework the job, I had one more fight on my hands, and that was to get the drawer face detached from the drawer. It took crowbars and all to get this piece done. I not only had the project for the kitchen, but I also had a shelving project to work on for Dr. Ivory. So here are the cuts that I made in order to make the little shelves that she's going to hang her jewelry on. You know, assembly goes so much easier when you have the right power tools. Big ups to Rigid for having some wonderful products. And you know what? Also, big ups to my friends at Duluth Trading Company for keeping me outfitted. Thanks, Duluth. Man, I sure do get sawdusty doing this work. Now, I didn't record the putty part, but after a quick sanding and spray painting, I was able to finish this job in a jiffy. Here's the little bit of the process. And after a little simple dry time, look at how pretty these are with a matte finish. And just like that, I'm back at Dr. Ivory's for the installation. Now, I used both my carpenter square and my speed square to make sure the extra supports for the rails were properly installed.
Okay, so I had to engineer a piece because I want to be able to have my rail go from the back to the front, and there was nothing to hold it to. So I was able to engineer this right here. I'm going to secure it in from both sides with some Kreg jig screws. You see that I'm checking for level using my carpenter square, and I'm also checking for square using my speed square before I put my screws in.
I was so focused on getting everything properly squared up that I completely forgot to film the rest of the assembly of the drawer rail slider. Oh well, I guess I'll have to figure that out for you guys in another lesson. Oh well, ultimately, our master goal was achieved. We now have the face of the door, the face of the drawer, and a new slider that completely houses and disguises the trash can. Next stop, to put those shelves into the closet. Okay, so I used a couple of 2x4s to secure to the wall, and this is going to be disguised by my invisible shelving unit. And just like that, after several easy measurements, it's done.
Like,
How do you feel?
amazing. This is my favorite room in the whole wide world, and you just made it better.
Well, we just put up some little shelving right here, just enough to hold her beautiful jewelry stands. Ta-da!
I hope you didn't forget there's a whole hot water heater we have to work on. I went on and cut the copper tubing and started the process, but you know what?
So when the girly shop teacher needs an extra lesson, she calls.
No.
Oh, fooey.
Plumbing is not my thing, but my daddy's an expert at everything. And just when we were making headway getting the old pipe off, a piece of solder drips right into the head of our butane tank. Oh well, time to go back to Home Depot. Oh well, back to the drawing board and yet another trip to the Home Depot. I'll see you next time on The Girly Shop Teacher. So if you like this content, remember to pop on over to our YouTube channel. While you're there, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. We'll see you next time at Garage School.